Hi fashion lovers, welcome back to my channel. Today it is this trendy stylish halter neck, all right, backless open back short gown or down, okay, that will be making in this video. If it is what you are interested in, please like the video, subscribe, and let's go. Now this fabric, this style has been trending, okay, and it comes in different adire, it comes in different kampala, it comes in different ankara, crepe, whatever kind of fabric you feel like it goes. All right, so let's go. This is my calculation for the dress. There's no need for the shoulder, so I'm working with bust 36 divided by 4, which gives me 9, with 30 hip, gown length 34, and shoulder to lower waist is 20, half length is 16. Now I need to explain shoulder to lower waist. Shoulder to lower waist is where you want how deep your back will be, more like where your back gathers or flay will start from. That is what I mean by shoulder to lower waist. Why I took the lower waist, most of these gowns do not, it's not by the natural waist low, it comes down a little bit, some of them even to the upper hip. Okay, so that is why I chose lower shoulder to lower waist. And another way of achieving it is your half length. If you know the person's weight, you can add like 4 to it, it gives you. So for the cost of this dress, I'll be using these two fabrics to make this. Okay, these two fabrics, I'll be using it. This is Dolce's. Okay, I'll be using one. Then I'll equally be using ankara. Okay, so the person said I want it in 2 different colors, so we have these two to cut for her, but let's work with the plain fabric. It's, you can easily see the chalk on it than ankara. Okay, so for you to start, just get the tip of your fabric, whichever fabric you're now. This is the tip, you can see it. How do I put it? We have, when you hold a fabric, this is the finish, the factory finish edge, and the other part, you can see where I'm holding it, the tip. All right, or basically you just fold 90-degree flay. This first thing is to fold 90-degree flay. You can see how I'm folding it. If you want to cut a flay that is 90-degree, how do we fold it? This is how we fold it. So that is what you do first. Now, there are 2 ways of getting the front part of this gown. Is either in flay pattern or in A line. All right, whichever one, I will be treating both of them. 2 ways of achieving this gown, the front in particular. 2 ways I'll be treating it. Now the first way I'm going for is the 90-degree flay. This pattern makes the dress more fuller, especially at the front. Gives the front more fullness. All right, so if you see anyone that is not that full, okay, especially at the front, know that they use a line, but if it is full, it is this pattern. Okay, so we'll be starting with the first, which is the 90-degree flay, 90-degree pattern. You can see how it is. This is a triangular pattern. Okay, that is what we call 90-degree. Okay, so when you fold it this way, hold it up, pin it up, anyway, hold it firm first, then you take your tape. All right, now for us to get, if you watch the neck of this gown, it is a little bit gathered, at the neck. So from the tip, the utmost tip, measure 7. You can measure 8. The lesser you measure, the fewer fabric you have for your neck. Look at what I did. You see how I did it? From the center, I measured 7. That is it, 7. That is what I measured that gave me this. Okay, you can measure 6, but the minimum you can go for is 3 inches. If not 3 inches, you will not have any, on the, if you watch the neck, they stretch it a little bit. So what I have is 11 in total. Okay, I measured that particular 7 and it's giving me 5.5. In total I have 11, which is very much okay. So from that 7, right, from that 7 you get your gown length. Remember, in this calculation, in this video, the gown length you're working with is 34 is the gown length. So from that 7, measure straight 37. Let me adjust this camera very well so you get to see it. Measure 37. Okay, you can see it from here. 34, sorry, not 37. Is a short mini gown. You can see it, 34. When you get the 34, you mark. This is where my 34 is. You can see my chalk. Good. I've marked my 34. So once you mark 34 there, you equally move to the center. You can see how I placed it on the center. All right. You will equally mark 34 on the center. Hope you're seeing my markings. The same way you go to the edge, the unopen side, all right, and place it again. You can see where I'm placing it. This part of it, you equally need the measurement. You need the 34 measurement. Okay, you go that way, place it, take the tape down, then measure your 34. It is 34 all the way. Now you will say 34. What of the folding allowance? What of the hemming allowance? I know. That is why we did not take anything away from the shoulder, the gown length at all. Because by the time we fold it down, fold it up, will still be in place. All right. So though you're supposed to consider the folding, that is why I did not add anything. I did not reduce anything. Just work with the length. Okay. Now remember, you measured from your shoulder. So you mark 34. But feel free, it is not compulsory you mark the 34 I'm marking. You can decide to add sewing allowance to your 34. Folding allowance rather. To your 34 if you wish. Good. But in this case, I am not adding 34 to the anything to the 34. Why? The dress we are making is an halter neck, and this person specifically said she doesn't want hers choking on the neck. Majority of them, these dresses, they wear most of them on the neck. It comes too close to the neck, but she says she doesn't want hers that way. So therefore, hers will not be too close to the neck. That is why I did not add anything. Okay. So this is my triangular pattern. Okay, I'm cutting the 34. Okay, I'm cutting the 34. Remember, you must measure round exactly the way we go for our 90-degree flay. That is how you got one of the ways of achieving the front part of this dress. Okay, which is what I have here. All right, this is my 90-degree front pattern of this gown achieved. Okay, achieved. You see that I've achieved the front pattern. The next thing is for us to talk of the A-line way of achieving it. Okay, now first thing first, for the A-line we have to do a little bit of calculation on it. Now for the bust we have 38. You can either, if you have the person's hip measurement, you use it. You add 20. You can add up to 30. Whatever it gives you, you divide it by 4. Now that is 58 divided by 4, which gives me 15. Have we? Yeah, 14 and a half. Okay. Now, that is what I will be folding. Okay. Now that I have 14, I can fold 15, I can fold 16. All right. Now, the thing is, the difference is this front will not be as full as the other, the 90-degree we did. It will not be that full. So with this calculation, I folded my fabric. All right. Now let's check. I have about 16. Yes, the folding I did, you can see it about 16. About 16 as my folding. All right. The next thing I just need is get the length of the gown, which is 34. Okay, which is 34. Then you mark. You can see I've marked it. 34. Now, once you have that, the same thing, the upper part of the triangle, remember we got 5. Abby? Yeah, the front part we got 5. Yeah, by the shoulder, the 7 we measured gave us 5.5. When folded into 2, it gives us 11.5. So you come up here, you can decide to go for 4. It's folded into 2. All right, from the open side, you decide to go for 4. When you go for 4, you place it this way. You can see how my rule is. That is how you place it and cut. If you choose to increase it maybe by 6, you increase it by 6. Go this way. All right, and cut. So this is the A-line way of achieving the front pattern without much flay, fullness to it. Okay, but let's place the 90-degree flay pattern so you see how it is, the differences. Okay, it's not just talking, you have to see the difference. So this is how it should be. Now looking at you can see how wide it is, especially on the down part of it. You can see the wideness. All right, so if you want yours fuller, make sure you go for 90 degrees. But for the cost of this person's dress, for this style, this person's dress, I am using 90 degree. I'm not using a line. I just want to show you in case you want to manage your fabric. All right, now the front is achieved. Yes, what next? We need to work on the back. Now for our back, our gown length is 34. There are little calculation you need to do. My gown is 34, okay, and my lower waist, remember there is shoulder to lower waist in my calculation earlier, which is 20. What do I mean by lower waist? You can see the back where it is. So I take it that the person wants it at 20. So when you minus your 34 minus 20 gives you 14. So the length for my back, the height, the length is 14. Okay, now what of the width? How wide? What do we cut? Now, if you have enough fabric, like you have excess fabric, you use 360 degree to cut this. But to avoid wasting fabric, just go for gathers. Cut it straight, gathers pattern, which is what we are doing. The width, the waist is 30. Divide it by 2, it gives you 15. That 15, multiply it by 3 or by 4. Either 3 or by, how we do our gathers. We multiply our waist to get, for it to gather more. So, which gives me 45 or 60. So, I can either, my width will be 60 or my length height will be 14. You get that? My width will be 60. Now, if I have more than 60, I will use it. If I have up to 70, I will use it. When you want it more fuller. Another thing I need to emphasize on the back of this dress, some of it they put a elastic, that half inches elastic, they pass it through at the back before attaching it. Some they use rope, stripes or rope for it. Now this is my pattern, my fabric rather. I folded it into four. Okay, this fabric that I'm about to cut right now, it is folded into four. Okay, so the first thing I'll do is get my length. All right, now if you have 14 as your length remaining, remember there will be hemming allowance, so put that into consideration when marking your 14. You can add one to it or two at most to it. All right, now why should you add? The upper part of this back they will be folding, the down part they will be folding. So when you mark, make sure you add your allowance. Okay, so this is it, and I will cut. Now you can see this fabric is more, look at it, it is 22. When you divide 22 times, multiply it by 4, remember this fabric is folded by 4, so we have about 80 something inches for our back. So it will be so full, so if you want yours as in too much full, you can take up to 100 inches. So it is your fabric, especially if you're working using gathers for it, cutting it straight, not in a flay pattern. All right, not a 360 pattern, but flay. Okay, sorry, but straight pattern way. So you can take up to 100 if you have the fabric. You can take up to 80 like me if you have the fabric. So I still have enough fabric left, so I went for 80, which is perfectly okay. But have it in mind, if you follow the calculation the way we did the calculation, it should not be less than your waist divided by 2, multiply it by 4, it gives you more fullness. Now let's just check, cross check to see if we are on the right track. Let me know on the comment section if I'm on the right track. Now you know how the front used to be. This is how it used to be. You can see it on the picture. This is how the down is. They gather it at the center, it gives that fullness. Now this is my remaining, the down part of it. Let's see if what we mark is given. All right, now let's just place it and pleat and see if we got what we are to do. Now for the finishing of this dress, I will be on the live stream when doing this. All right, so if you have not subscribed, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, so when I go live when sewing this, you'll be notified that I'm live. All right, so you can watch the sewing process. All right, so this is it. Am I not getting it? Though the back has not been sewn, but it is giving it, is it not? If it's giving, let me know on the comment section. For all those commenting on my videos, I appreciate every one of you. I'm grateful. Now you can see it is giving, it is more like it. Now for the finishing of this dress, no much finishing, just bias. Now when you attach this side together, let me just bring it close so you see the finishing of this down part of it. Okay, now when you place it this way, fold in here. Remember I told you there will be elastic, so first thing first is to fold. Once you fold, you pass the elastic through here, stretch it the way you want it, enough stretch, to give that back effect. Once you have done that, the next thing is you sew it, place it this way and sew. All right, now when you sew it, let me get pin and pin, hold this up. Good. That is it. Now when you place it well, remember it will all be sewn like this, okay? Now when you're done with the up, you have to sew it, attach it to the triangular, the 90-degree front, okay, by the side. Then when it comes to this part, you can use facing or just fold it this way and sew. You either not facing, sorry, bias to finish this, or you just fold it this way that I just did and sew on it. Remember, different kinds of fabrics are used. Like this one on the picture is adire. They use adire. Then the upper part, you just fold it into two and equally add your rope, through the neck. Very simple. This is one of the easiest gown you can sew as a beginner. Now, if you try this out and you have any question, feel free to drop it on my comment section. All right.